All right, it is Friday, October 10th. The market got crushed today. Going over some charts, do some videos here. The VIX is finally pumping up again. Now, remember the VIX in April? It went to a high, I can't get my screen here, high of 60.13. The tariffs, this thing rocketed up. Came out of this wedge in March. And that was the best time to buy, of course, when this went all the way up. Eventually, the VIX doesn't stay here. And, off we went to the market after April, up and away. But looking at the VIX volatility, see in May we came down. There's a spike. June, a little bit of a move. Then we had another spike in August. We're getting lower. September, getting lower. You see this wedge forming. So if people are not familiar, this is a descending triangle. You're holding the levels, pretty much this 15 level. I have 15 here. Where's my 15? And you hold the 15 level, and you say you go down below it. This went to like 14. What was that cross right there? 14.12. I mean, you a little below it, but the VIX is not going to go many times below 15. And if it does, unless the market's just very quiet, no volatility in the market, everything's just going good, which is, rare. And that's where we are. So this is a big breakout here. You can look back in August, see the low. Low in August was 348 stochastic. See this? Circle this. And then look at each time you get higher. People don't really look at charts that closely. These CNBC people, they got to put money to work, whatever. But, this is showing you the reality of how charts will beat, fundamentals every time. Fundamentals, like you stay in a stock, like Heinz, whatever it is. What is it? Kraft Heinz. You get a dividend. Yeah, 60 years and you're Warren Buffett of $1 billion. Yeah, you can make money. Regular people, you're not going to make money. You got to make money faster. And here's the move again. So look at the moves from the VIX. Low, got higher, got higher. Each time it was climbing, and no one noticed. This is called divergence. You're actually moving up, but you're going, oh, we're not really moving. Yeah, you had some spikes. Yes, until you get a final move or some triggers the market, something triggers it. And look at the moves up. Now you're crossing up again. Today we're up 31% from the low, 1623, a high of 2244. So let's look at the 5-minute on the VIX today. There's when Trump spoke. This came out and really exploded up there. Look at that move. And then you had a back and forth and stayed elevated. And the weekly chart, you hit a bottom maybe here. 089 on the VIX. That was in July. That's crazy. And then you went up, moved down. But see this again, the low right here get higher each time. Very subtle. And look, we got 45.70 right now. And you crossed up in April. Is my it's frozen here, but that was right around about 50 here on a stochastics level right here. Here it is. 66.47. You're at 45 right here in the weekly. And this tells me something's just getting started. You're just coming out of the wedge. I think there's a bigger move ahead. And could this be a flush down over 10%? Yeah, if we get 10%, that'd be pretty good. Monthly chart. Look at that. Big green candle. You came down. Look at this go down the high, but the low's holding. Big green. You're crossing over now. 1141 on stochastics. Quarterly chart. You have a green candle now again. So where will the VIX go? Well, 25 would be here. You look back. We've hit 25 many times. You hit 30. Yeah, that would be a pretty good move. That would mean the market's going down even further. Pretty good point. So we'll see how this plays out. Weekly chart, you're just crossing over and you're going up. Monthly, you have a crossover just now too. I forgot to show this on to the SPY and the markets. All right, advancing 12%. Look at that declining 85%. NASDAQ, you 62%. New low, new high 37. Above the 50 moving average, 41, 58% below. 200 day, 50% below, 50% above. Bull bear, you can see 52, 48% on that. So, if we go to 25, which I think we will, it's not that far away. You go to 30, then we'll see, are we going to go even higher than some sort of spike capitulation move? How will this play out exactly? You've had moves before, August, April. You had one in December. So is this going to be, a week, a 2 week move? How will this play out? That is the key question. As you can see, the weekly, even going back to 2022, look at that spike up, almost 80, spike to 50 line, spike to 80, 70, 64, 66. So once you get over 50, it looks like, close to the 70 and 60 to 70 level on stochastics, meaning it's getting, overbought. So we're not there yet. That's why I think there's still more downside with the VIX here. And let me see, yearly VIX. See the yearly VIX. Look at 1985. That was the 87 crash. He came down. And then after that, what was this year? 94, you had all green on the VIX. You were rising until you had the dot-com crash right here. And then it cooled off. And then the 2008 crash of that wick to 90. So the biggest, wicks are 87, 2008. What's this right here? COVID, that was 85. You've had wicks to about 60. And they've been recently, so there's 3 wicks here. 24, 25, and where we're at now, there's a big wick. It's a very interesting quarterly. It's hard to see in a quarterly. But this is where we're at. We've run very far, and I think more volatility is ahead. And will we end on this particular move? Will it be capitulation? Will there be Trump's going to say something? It's hard to say. Next week will be very interesting how we play out. We're going to get a big spike up and rebound, and then it's a fake out. A lot of different scenarios. We've seen this before, and we'll just have to see what happens over the weekend. Any news, Trump, if he says something, and we'll go see what futures hold on Sunday. Wait a minute. Is market closed Columbus Day? I have to check that out. I think it is. Hold on 1 second. Is the market closed Columbus Day? No, the U.S. market is open Columbus Day Monday. Bond markets close. Okay. All right, so we'll see what happens next week. We have volatility now. It's great for day trading too. You want volatility, you get big rips, big moves long, and then you fall, and back and forth we go. All right, that's it. Please subscribe to Mike Heyman Trades on YouTube. Smash the like button. That is it.